Hello, hi. We live in a sexualized world, everyone, especially parents out there. So, how do I protect my children from sex predators? We're doing a lot of videos to help all the parents out there to safeguard their children so that they're not sexually molested or sexually abused. Now, one of the ways by which we can protect our children from sex predators is by teaching them, is by basically arming them with information as to what to do, how to recognize a sex predator, someone that can sexually molest them. And so and one of the best ways to deal with a predator, or to keep a predator away, is by knowing our body parts. Listen, parents, it doesn't matter what age group. A child is not too young to be taught, to be given sex education. From 0 to 18 months, begin to teach them their body parts. Call them what they are. Call the body parts what they are. Don't make up stories or give them, especially when it comes to the main private parts that are like, the penis, the vagina. You don't give them other names. Penis are not squirms, they're not. You call it the name it is called, so that if a predator, obviously a lot of our children may never come across them, but it does happen, so that they know exactly what. I'll tell you a story. A little girl was being sexually molested, where the uncle was actually putting his penis into her. And so she went to the mother. She said, "Oh, mom, uncle is putting a nail in my bum bum." And the mom disregarded it, because the little girl didn't know the name for the penis. So she the best way she could actually describe it was a nail. And so when she told the mother, a nail, uncle put his nail in my bum, the mom just disregarded it. Whereas if that little girl had known the actual name for the penis, and he had said, "Oh, mom, uncle put his penis in my bum," that would have rang an alarm bell, and the mother will have dealt with it. So there's no point shying away from the reality, because the reality is that there are sex predators out there, but we need to arm our children so that we can rescue them from sex predators. So what do? We need to teach them what body parts are. You need to teach your child that there are two, we group the body parts into two, sessions. We group the body parts into two sessions. One of the session is called public parts. The other session is called private parts. Let your child know that everywhere where that's not covered by clothes, that's what you call the public part. Your hair is your public part, your eyes are your public parts, your nose, that's your public parts, your ears, that's your public part, your hands, that's the public part, your legs, those are your public parts. So those are the areas that are exposed, that can be exposed without being covered by clothes. Those are your public parts. Then there is the other part that is called the private part. And you've got to let your children know what these are. Let your child know that the private parts are private. Nobody except mom or dad or the doctor. When the doctor, if you're sick and the doctor is examining you, then the doctor can touch your private parts. Or if mom is bathing you or changing your nappy, or so your mom and dad can, but if anybody else tries to touch you in your private parts, then it's, the person is not a good person. And what are the private parts? Your laps. Teach your child what private parts are. The laps are private parts. No one is permitted to touch their private part. Let them know. Part of the places that shouldn't be touched are their lips. Nobody should touch your lips. Your lips are part of your private parts. Then the breast, those are parts of private parts. Nobody else is permitted to touch it. And your bum, no, those are part of your private parts, because you cover them up, because nobody's meant to see them, because why? They belong to you. And also your penis is your private part. Nobody is permitted to see it. For the lady, for the boys, let them know that their penis is their private part, and no one is permitted. If anyone tries to touch it, then that person is a sex predator. Please go and check on my video that I created on who a predator is, that explains who a predator is. That a predator is someone that actually tries to touch them in their private part. For your girls, let them know that their vagina is a private part and no one is permitted to touch it. So you need to group it into these two, separate groups. Teach your children the parts of the bodies. So I've made it simple for us, where we've grouped it into two groups. We have the public parts, we have the private parts. Your public parts are parts that are, that can be exposed. Your legs, your hands, your hair, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your legs, those are places that are public. But there are the private parts, which are your laps, your lips, your penis, your bum, your breast, your vagina. Those are your private parts, and they must not be touched by anyone. Because why? And you need to also teach your children that, the body belongs to God and belongs to them. Let them know your body belongs to God and then to you, and so nobody is permitted to touch your body, because your body belongs to you. Your body is a house that you live in, and you've got to look after it. And the private part of your body are the places that are private, secluded, they're tucked away, just, and they can only be seen or touched by you, because you're the owner of your body. Nobody else is permitted to go near any of your private parts. So please, let's educate our children. Let's arm them with information. Let's give the correct names to the correct parts of the body, and stop, and stop being, why are we shy about mentioning parts that, that we have names for? And there's nothing wrong in educating them, so that the sex predators don't have them. There's another area I didn't mention as part of the private part, is the armpit. The armpit, you're under your arm, is private. Nobody is permitted to touch it, because especially for the girls, they are under the armpits, is so close to their breast, isn't it? So nobody is permitted to touch it or go near these particular parts. I hope that I've been a blessing to you. Please, let's arm our children with information. Let's educate them. Let's keep away all these pedophiles and sex predators and abusers, and not allow our children to be sexually molested, because an abused child becomes an abused adult. An abused child becomes a damaged adult, and we really don't want to be repairing damaged adults. We want to preserve our children so that they're not sexually molested, and so that they're raised as a whole man, a whole woman, and a whole being, a total man, total woman, and a total being. I'm Dr. Chris Ogedembe, coming your way. I'm a relationship and family life coach. I'm also the broadcaster of Parenting Without Tears, an amazing program that is teaching parents on how to actually parent their children really well. Parenting Without Tears. My name is Dr. Chris Ogedembe. Please, if you like this video, press the like button, give us a message on the message box, and also subscribe to our channel, so that we can bring more of of such videos your way, so that together we can raise our children, and they can basically be a blessing to the universe. God bless you. Take care.